Hello, guys. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
So, yeah, Juneteenth is tomorrow, but, we always want to support black things on this channel. But welcome again to another episode of the Watch That John podcast. My name is Mary.
And I'm James.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty fun. We actually went to a Juneteenth 5K on Friday.
Oh.
It was 95 degrees.
So Aileen did another one.
She did another one, yes.
Wow.
I did it with her.
You did it with her. That's good. That's good.
I did.
How was
I
it?
did, yes.
How'd your feet feel? You said it was 91 degrees?
It was like 95 degrees.
Oh, my God.
It was at 7 p.m. It was 2,000 people there. And we walked on the east side of Oklahoma City.
But
And
to
it
be
was
95 degrees at 7 p.m. is
Yeah.
bonkers.
The
I kind of
only-
love
the
it,
only-
but that's crazy.
Yeah, the only saving grace is that it was a nice breeze, and a lot of the neighborhood had trees, so it was under the shade.
Okay, you get a little bit of shade. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good,
And
though.
then
How many
And
5Ks? This is your second 5K?
this is my third.
Wow, that's
I
good.
done 2 this year,
Yeah.
and then 1 2 years ago.
Okay. Is it easier
Yep,
now
yep.
that you've been doing them more?
Yeah, no, this one wasn't bad. It was just I was walking. I'm like, I've been walking for a minute,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, it wasn't bad. I'm gonna start trying to at least partially jog them next time.
Were the views good? Like you weren't like bored?
Yeah, no, we was in the residential neighborhood,
Okay.
walking with a lot of black folk,
That's
and
nice.
white folk.
It's like
and
the Million Man March all over again. It's like no.
It really was, and everyone. I love Oklahoma. Like everyone, just so friendly. Like people were waiting outside their house and waving to us. Had their Juneteenth signs up. They were like, they had their sprinklers facing the yard, like facing the street, because they know we were so hot.
Aw, yeah.
They cooled us off.
It's not them just trying to inadvertently hose black people.
No, it was mostly black people. We walked in a black neighborhood,
Okay.
and they were just like thanking us or saying hi or you can do it. Like it was
That's
pretty cool.
cute. That's really
It was
cute.
a good vibe. And then on Saturday, we went to another Juneteenth music festival slash food festival.
There's like food
slash,
trucks and everything.
Yeah, there was food trucks, and I had the best food of my life. Well, the best brisket, egg rolls. This place, it slaps, man.
Were the egg rolls really big? Because I'm like, I
They
want
were
a
big.
lot of brisket. So how many egg rolls will I have to eat to get my brisket quota?
You'll probably have to eat like 5 or 6 egg rolls,
they're
but you
small.
won't be able to because they're like egg roll size, but they're
Okay.
cut in half. You know how they fancy or whatever, but
Mm.
they're so
Decadent.
decadent that you eat it and you're like, oh my
You
god,
savor it. You savor everything.
you savor it. Yes, but no, we had a really good time this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
It was a baddie birthday weekend.
Hey, birthday weekend, turn up.
24
birthday
never looked so
weekend.
good.
Do-do-do-do-do.
You know.
Yeah. Is that what we're gonna do? We just gonna lie to your audience right now?
Anyway, so yeah, it was really cool. We just got an Airbnb. We went dress shopping. We cooked out and just vibed. I think tomorrow I'm gonna see what sort of Juneteenth events I can go to. So,
Yeah, and we say dress shopping, you mean
wedding dress shopping. That's correct.
ooh, fancy.
Not for the streets no more, I guess. So
Not for the streets, yeah.
yeah. But
Gotta
all
be washed
right.
up.
Yeah, to jump into this episode today, a show that also premiered on the greatest day ever, my birthday, June 16th, House of the Dragon Season 2.
Do, 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 do.
Dude. No, you were supposed to keep doing that, and I was going to do the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
That might have been I might have jumped the gun a little bit, but whatever, you guys get it. We love Game of Thrones over here with all the violence and what's it called, infanticide and incest.
We don't love the incest.
We don't love
part.
the incest, but we love the show. You know, all the
Yes.
memes that's just like, once again, we're going to be shipping incest again. And I'm like, Jesus.
Shipping incest.
They had it like literally. At first, we're like, ew, Damon and Rhaenyra. Then we're like, meh.
Basically,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So you know how Game of Thrones we said GOT got right? House of Dragons. His acronym is Hot D.
Hot D. Hot D. There's a lot of that.
Hot Dragons.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
Hot D. So yeah, we're gonna review Hot D season 2, episode 1.
This is not
Do it-
spoiler free.
No, it's not gonna be spoiler free. We're gonna aim to release these episodes the Thursday following the episode release. So this episode released on Sunday, June 16th, and we're gonna drop it on Thursday, June 20th.
Yeah. So we both were like, yo, we do not remember anything from season 1. How long
Yes.
has it been since
I feel like it's been at least 2 years.
has it been 2 years?
Let me
I
see.
understand this is a massive show with a lot of moving parts. Like, a lot of people work on the show. Costume design, special effects, lighting, animation, and CGI, and set design, and music, and all the other things that go into a major production. But has it really been 2 years? If you can't find it, don't worry
It
about
came out August 21st, 2022.
That was the final episode.
That was the first episode.
That is crazy.
That
Yeah,
was
so
the
it's
first
almost been
episode.
2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 episodes.
So I don't feel bad about watching it, turning it on, and then immediately being like, hold on, had to pause it and go on YouTube and do a recap.
Yes, a recap because we're so confused. And this is a novel, right?
It's several books.
It's several
Oh,
books.
but this one in particular, yeah. What's the book? This is based off the book of The Song of Ice and Fire.
The Song of Ice and Fire is Game of Thrones. This one's like the song of like
I thought Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was man.
Google it.
Google it.
Let me see. HOTD is based off what book?
Which book?
Oh, Gen AI. Oh, House of the Dragon is based off Fire and Blood.
Fire and Blood. Okay.
Okay, so you're right. So, a 2018 fictional history book by George R.R. Martin that chronicles the Targaryen family history. So, it said
Yep.
Fire and Blood is part of Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire franchise, but it's not technically part of the series.
Yes.
So,
Fire and Blood. And that is a very accurate
that is a
description
very accurate name because as
of
we
this
know,
show so far.
yeah, as we know, House of the Dragon, it's pretty much a whole lot of infighting within a single family.
Yes. And, you know, the Targaryen family is very complicated.
It is
Okay.
very
It's
nasty.
very complicated.
Nasty people.
Yeah, I looked. So there's, if you guys go to HBO.com, House of Dragon / character guide, there's this interactive website that shows you basically the major houses between the House Targaryen,
It's a family
House
tree.
Valerian.
Yeah, Valerian. That's where
Strong.
we get the black people finally.
Exactly. That's where we get the black
The
people.
niggas.
House Hightower and basically all their connections. And I looked through the House Targaryen, and there's 2 instances where siblings got married and had children.
Siblings. That is wild.
Siblings, like literally, including Alicent Hightower and Viserys the First Targaryen, child.
Well, yeah, Aegon II married
Yeah, Aegon II, Helena.
yeah, the weird girl. The weird girl
Yes.
who's not weird at all, as we learn later in the show. Who's not
yes.
weird at all, who be knowing.
Who we know.
But yeah, that
Exactly.
family tree is really helpful. But I did, before we move on to how do we
How do we want to do this? So I think these episodes, we're gonna do episode by episode. We're gonna keep it relatively short, and our goal is just our reactions, right? Because we really want you
I
guys
know what I
to
wanna
watch
ask
the
you, yeah.
show with us.
yeah.
Yeah, we want you to watch it with us.
Yeah.
Follow along with us and let us know our initial reactions.
So, what I want to know your reaction is, do you remember how this episode started off?
Yes, it started off at the wall, right?
In
at
the north.
in the north at the
Can you do the accent? Can you make a Stark Northern accent?
King of the North.
King of the North.
The
I don't know. My
North.
friend Fluffy is able to do it so well. Like so well. But yeah, it starts off in the north and had yeah, at first I was like very excited, then I was like, oh, I don't know these niggas.
Yeah, because one of them was I think it was Joffrey Valerian, or maybe it was Jaxaris Valerian. It was one of
Oh, Rhaenyra's children.
Rhaenyra's
Yeah,
children.
she,
Yes.
she went to go she at the end of season 1, she sent her children off to pretty much go petition her stake to the throne and remind people that she is the true heir.
Yep.
So she sent off Luke and Jace. I'm gonna call him Jace because
Yeah.
I
Jace. Yep.
yeah, they call him Jace in the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they send
Yeah,
off
his
Jake,
name
the
is-
bastards. They send off
Yes.
Jake, and he goes to the north. And I like how this episode starts off. You know, it gives us that nice nostalgic feeling of watching Game of
Yes.
Thrones. But then I am deflated because I'm like, I'm not going to see Jon Snow's fine ass, or Rob's fine ass, or even Ned Stark's fine ass.
You thought Ned Stark
Ned
was fine.
Ned was fine. Ned was cute. Listen, he was a man of honor, and he Google my nigga Ned Stark.
Eileen just gave you a stink face.
Y'all
too,
forget. Don't listen. Don't knock him because he old. I'm about to Google him right now. He was a whole look. He was a
That's funny.
looker.
That's funny, but you're right. It is weird
Right, that
looking
he was a
at
looker, right?
familiar. No, it's weird. It's weird looking at familiar settings with different people.
Right. They showed their face. I said, ew, who this?
Exactly. I feel like, all in all, the people in this show is not as attractive as the original show.
And you know, I
Like-
think that's done purposely.
Yeah.
I think that's done
Why?
purposely. I don't like to comment on like an actor's like.
But you do-
I'll
but-
comment
but
on
we do
a
it-
character's appearance.
We do it every episode, man.
You
So
do it
over.
every episode.
We do it every episode.
You do it every episode. Like, but I think
should be formerly known as Mr. Sexy. We'll talk about Michael B. Jordan.
I don't comment negatively on an actor's appearance. If they look good, they look good. We talked about how beautiful Margot Robbie was for like 12
Yeah.
minutes and coming as Michael B. Jordan. But yeah, I think they did it on purpose because I think people are kind of tired of seeing like picture perfect people on TV. You know, if these people are, I don't know, based in 1280, they don't shower every day. Or
They don't brush their teeth.
they don't brush. They probably stink. I know they stink. Like, why do they look so glamorous and perfect all the time? So I think they did try to, tone it down a bit. I also realizing that this season does have, it's not as booby as a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because Game of Thrones, the first season, it had to catch you. It had to catch the audience.
You're right. Yeah,
But now-
they say that a lot of HBO shows there's always going to be nudity in the first episode to get you watching.
To get you watching. But then as it went on, all the nudity and the graphic stuff slowed down tremendously, right?
In Game of
comparison.
Thrones,
Yeah. Well,
I
it
remember
was still a
titties
lot.
throughout and brutality.
Yes, but the who titties they showed changed. It was just side characters and stuff like that. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that House of Dragons, Hot D,
Hot D.
right? They don't really have to do all of that, in my opinion, because they got the fan base.
They have the fan base, even though they lost a lot of fans because people were disgusted by how the way Game of Thrones season
ended.
8 ended.
Yes.
And I get it. The only thing I was mad about was that Cersei should have died a terrible, slow, painful death, not be crushed by a rock.
Yes, in a romantic setting with her
With
lover
freaking-
/ brother.
With terrible Jamie, with terrible
Yes.
scum of the earth, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to this episode, like I said, nostalgia, with the Starks, and I like how the scene opens up. I think one of the Starks, I forget his name, says something along the lines of, "Honorable men know that duty is the sacrifice." He says something like that.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
And it's a burden that an honorable man cannot avoid. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with honorable man or woman that duty, right, and And back in that time, duty
The wall.
was the wall,
Well,
right? And they
yeah,
said the Stark.
that's very literal.
That was
what we're
that's
saying.
yeah, that's where literal. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, duty back then was like a birthright. You know what I mean? Or like your class.
That's true.
Or like
We can get into that later. We can get into that later, my nigga. Keep going. Yeah.
yes, right. But now the duty that we have now is to like, I guess it's kind of the same, right? Your family, yourself, like the duty to the commitments that you make. So absolutely, all that takes sacrifices because you can't do what you want to do all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't
Unless it's your
work that way.
birthday. But
Unless it's your birthday, but that's just a day, and you
my
sacrifice.
birthday is a month. I am not an honorable woman this month.
I think you just said you were done with the streets.
Still in a little bit. I'm in the streets, but I'm with my man though. We both in the streets.
we both
We
in the
both in the
streets.
streets. You better not be in the streets just must me though. But what was I saying? Huh. Okay, we're talking about
We were talking about honor versus duty.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's a really good dichotomy, right? Because responsibility and honor versus what you want to do, and I think that's the exact dichotomy that
Rhaenyra
Rhaenyra
and Allison.
and Allison
Alicent.
share.
Yeah.
Alicent,
Yeah, Alicent.
right? And that's Alicent is the dutiful queen, right? She went and married this old crusty man.
He was so
because-
gross. He was so
Yeah,
gross. When
he
his
was so
eye
gross.
came out at the end, he had
Yes.
one eye. Oh my
One
god.
eye, and he was still trying to bang her. He was still smashing.
You're not allowed to be
You
that
know?
horny when you look like that.
Exactly. She had 4 children with this man, right? And 2 grandchildren.
What are their names?
So-
Because I keep forgetting. I know we have Aegon the Second.
We got
have
Aegon the
Aemon.
second. We have Helena,
Okay.
Aemon,
Okay.
and Darion.
Who is
Which
that?
I don't know.
Is he
I guess
very
they
young?
haven't shown him yet. I guess he can't be. Maybe I don't know. He's just on here.
Let me see. What does he look like?
There's no picture of him. even
Oh,
on the
so
HBO
no one
website.
cares. No one cares.
No one cares. He
But,
just he got 4 kids.
But going back to this is going back. I didn't recognize that. Remember they said for the Starks that one man and 10 of the Starks have to serve on the wall.
Yeah. And when the scene opened up, they were giving out rocks.
Yeah.
And the person who had the
black
black rock had to take up the black and go out and protect the wall from who knows what on every side. I guess we know what.
We
the
know,
White
we
Walkers.
know. And you know it's you know what's crazy how like in Game of Thrones the wall was just kind of seen as like a prison where all the delinquents and bastards were sent to.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder back then in the scene we saw, did it still have that kind of like reputation? Like, oh, you guys are just sent there because you need to be isolated from society because you're a thief or a rapist or a murderer or a bastard, and there's no real threat coming to it, and it doesn't have, and people think that you guys are, you know what I mean? Was it as honored back then as it is in Game of
Well,
Thrones?
the way that Stark, I don't know his first name,
I
but
don't
the
know
way
his
that
name
the
either.
Stark, the Lord of Winterfell, was talking was that this is not a sentence; it's an honor,
It's an honor.
right? And I think
I don't think he was the Lord. Maybe he was the
He had
main
the-
dude of the wall. Was it?
no, he was Lord Winterfell.
Cregan? Was his name
yeah.
Cregan? Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Just he'll probably pop up. He's a Stark. He'll pop up later.
So you do
End
think
of
the
story.
Starks are going to be prominent again?
Yeah, I do. I do. Maybe not.
Ooh.
But then again,
They're not going to be the main characters, of course. Yeah.
But he's promised the queen some soldiers, some graybeards. He said, so they're gonna join the fight eventually. And also the writers know we want to see the Starks, so they're gonna join the fights eventually. And eventually the Lannisters gonna weasel their way in.
do you think
you
so?
know.
I don't know. There is one
Lannisters-
Lannister already there.
That already went.
I think Tylan. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
I think
Tylan,
Tylan is a Lannister. You remember that kid who was annoyed by Aegon II's little boy who came to the council meeting and he kept messing with the egg and just being a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think he's a Lannister. But yeah. Going back to was there anything else you want to say about the Starks?
No.
Okay. Going back, so you said a lot of interesting stuff. Going back to Rhaenyra and Alicent and just like
Yes.
how pretty much their whole relationship was torn apart by duty and pretty much pleasure.
Yes.
And like the cost of duty is so, it's so heavy. I rewatched season 1, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I hate Viserys. I hate Viserys for what he did to Emma Targaryen, Rhaenyra's mother.
His wife. Yeah, his mother.
And I remember Rhaenyra came to her mother, and her mother, when she was pregnant, and her mother pretty much said that, you know, she told Rhaenyra, she's like, you know, you're going to be a mother too one day, and you're going to give birth to an heir because it is your duty. And Rhaenyra was like, I'd rather be fighting on the battlefield for glory. And she was like, this is how we fight. With the, you know, this is how we fight. And nigga, she fought.
Yeah, she did.
They held that woman down. And it was so sad because she trusted Viserys so much, you know, because the baby was pretty much like turned around the wrong way. And they're saying like pretty much it's either the baby or her. We can't have them. The chances of them both
She was
surviving.
breached.
Yes.
When she coming out with the feet. Yep.
Yes. And she didn't know any of this. They did not talk to her. The doctors and they did not talk to Emma at all. They only talked to Viserys. And you know that's triggering because it's like when we think about the conversations now in a woman's body and who makes decisions about her body, the fact that y'all did not come to this woman and tell her you were the baby. You went to Viserys. Mm-hmm. So she's high on milk of the poppy, which is what, like a derivative of heroin? Like, isn't poppy seeds like
milk of the poppy?
Yeah.
Poppy, it might be heroin, but keep going.
Yeah.
Maybe some opioid, maybe.
Opioids, that's correct. So it's like she has no choice. So, you know, she's high, but she wakes up and she sees Viserys and she smiles at him, and you could tell she trusts him. And she's like, what's going on? What's happening? And she seems so trustworthy. And she seems like everything's okay because her husband's here. And he's like, we're going to bring the babe out. And she's like, what? And then they just hold her down. And she's like, what's going on? I'm scared. What's going on? He's like, it's okay. We're going to bring the babe out. And they gut her open like a trout. And that scream, when they make that first incision, because they say, I'm not sure if this is a DNC. I'm not sure if this is a C-section, because they said there's this new tactic where they can cut directly into the womb. But the blood loss, I know. My face, James made this face, y'all. That's pure horror. That was my face. I was like, what? What do you mean cut directly into the womb? And people want me to have kids. And you know they have no anesthesia back then. They just had milk of the poppy.
They could have just hit her with a head over the rock and that'd be better. Just knock her unconscious.
And my thing, even if she survived, she probably would get a nasty infection because we know these people were not disinfectant. Like,
they don't wash their hands.
Exactly.
They can't.
Oh my God. So you see the first incision that they make, and it is horrendous. And big kudos to the actress. I don't know her name who played Emma, but it was barbaric.
Yeah.
It was barbaric. And it's like you said, it's like the duty. That is her duty she believes that is her duty to give an heir. And it was funny how the scene, not funny, it was clever how the scene was juxtaposed because at the same time, there was a tournament going on. And there was a lot of brutality happening in the tournament. So they kept switching back and forth through brutality of people fighting at the jousting tournament and brutality, the brutality of giving birth. And it's just like, I'm just looking at Viserys and I'm just like, you already have an heir, but you gutted your wife because God forbid a woman sits in the Iron Throne. And,
you know, Rhaenyra's never forgave him for it.
I wouldn't either. Fuck him.
She never forgave him for it. And even when she
loved
had
him.
children,
she loved her father, but
she loved her father, but she
mama?
was duty bound.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so now in season 2, right, as she's older, she still has this duty bound obligation to her father because her father appointed her as the heir, right? Regardless of that, you know, he had a son, Aemon, right?
Aegon.
His son Aegon.
Aegon the second.
These names are so similar, y'all.
And you know, I feel like I'm mad that it seems like a big plot driver of the show is simple mixed communications in name.
Yes, exactly. Right where Alicent on when she was talking to Viserys on his deathbed, she thought that the
Aegon.
Aegon's
Aemon is the
dream.
dude who lost his eye.
Okay, oh my God,
Yeah, exactly.
Aegon's dream was about him being on a throne, a Targaryen being on a throne to basically save the end of the world,
Yeah, from the White
right?
Walkers. Yeah.
For the White Walkers. But she thought that he wasn't talking about his grandfather or great grandfather. He was talking about his son,
Aegon the second.
right?
Yeah.
Aegon the second. But then when she went and told the rest of the council, them niggas was plotting anyway to overthrow
yeah.
him.
They were already. Otto Hightower is a snake.
He is a snake.
He's not
He
a
is
little
snake.
finger. I don't. Is he a little? You think he's bad as
No,
Littlefinger?
no. Littlefinger is the dude strong. What's his name?
Laris.
Laris.
Laris. Oh, he makes me
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, no, he's disgusting.
The fact that he
Little
killed
foot
his
fetish.
own brother and father so he can become Lord of Harrenhal.
Yep.
And you see that Alicent is realizing the ditch that she put herself in.
Yeah, but she's also there's a moment in this episode which we gotta remember that's our focus today, right?
Well, I mean, even in
Alicent-
this episode, well, I think we can jump back because it's the first episode, so we can still refer
Yeah.
to the things. At least for
Yeah.
me, you know.
No, you're right. You're right. To kind of make it logical.
Mm.
But Alicent, I remember she was having a conversation with Hightower, with her father,
Mm.
right? And he essentially said that we're going to war
Mm.
and there's going to be bloodshed, right? And she was like, I know, but doesn't mean I want it.
Mm.
You know? So I think she finally realized that, yeah, man, if I came and I took this throne with my son, the son took the throne, and she believes wholeheartedly that it's his right to take the throne. But she knows, right? She said earlier, right? She was like, "Oh, I want victory is Rhaenyra."
No, victory is Aegon sitting on the throne.
Yep.
And I think Otto said that he wants the same thing.
Yeah.
But remember,
And that
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra bows a knee and they're at peace.
Okay.
But we know that Rhaenyra is not going to bow the knee. There's no
Bend the
way.
knee, yeah.
And actually, bend the knee. And actually, Rhaenyra was grieving and was vengeful about the loss of her son, right? Her son,
Luke.
Luke.
Because
right?
I think his name is Lucerys, but let's call him Luke. It's easier.
Yeah, we'll call him Luke.
Yeah.
So Luke,
He was
right?
Devoured by Vhagar.
Devoured. Yeah, by Aemon's dragon.
And you
Right.
you remember how Aemon got that dragon? It
He
was
got the
dirty.
dragon. Did he? He went over middle of the night and stole the little black girl's dragon, right?
He stole the black girl's mother, Lena's dragon. Because remember, Lena was married to Daemon at one point, and I think
Yep.
the same thing was happening to Lena, where pretty much they're saying it's her and the baby, and she's like, "Oh no, I make my own decisions." And she went to Vhagar and said, "Burn me the fuck up, because
Yep, she
these men
did.
ain't making decisions for me."
Exactly. She went out like a G.
And then Aemon, in the middle of the night, yeah, he got that big dragon. I remember that scene. It was very dark. I was like, this scene is so dark. Come on, y'all.
What
No,
is?
that scene was very dark.
What scene? Which one?
When he stole Vhagar at the beach, it was very
Oh.
dark. I could barely see that scene.
Yeah,
Like literally
image.
dark.
Okay.
Like
okay.
think about remember in Game of Thrones where they were fighting the Night Walkers
The
and
major
it was so
battles,
dark,
yeah.
and everyone
It was
said
so
it because our
dark.
TV was too cheap.
No. They just them niggas didn't want to add lights because they didn't have all those special effects.
Oh
budget.
yeah, they had Starbucks cups in the background. They were trying to hide
Yeah.
and everything. But yeah. So
yes, her son, Jake, we said, or Luke.
Jake,
Luke.
Luke. Yeah, Luke.
So Luke, he gets devoured,
Yeah,
right? And I'm struggling with these names.
Rhaenyra.
man. Rhaenyra, right? She finds his remnants, his remains, and the dragon he was flying remains on the beach.
He even ate the dragon.
And he ate the dragon.
He's the biggest, oldest dragon, Vhagar.
Yep, he's the largest dragon. In the
And I
world.
love it how a black woman was his rider.
Oh, you mean?
Lena.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah,
I
back
love
in
that.
season one.
I love that.
Yeah, but yeah. So she came back to her senses because she was grieving her son, and she lacked to make any action about the throne being stolen from her. And then she came back and she said, "A son for a son."
Yeah, she said she wants Aemon. She wants Aemon. But my thing
Aemon.
is, I can't even be mad at Aemon. I can't be mad at Aemon. I can't be mad at Alicent. Listen, I don't care. I remember in season 1 when the children got into a fight because Aemon stole Lena's dragon after their mother just died.
Yeah.
They got into a fight, and Aemon was acting very aggressively. He had a rock to...
He was going to kill those kids.
He was going to kill... I think he was going to kill Jace. And Luke came in and took his eye. I don't care how it started. As a mother, if my son comes home and he's missing an eye, and I know the person who did it, I'm gonna try to take your eye on your mom eye too. Like, and I understand Rhaenyra being like, "You are not touching my child."
Yeah.
You like, I get it. So, and I understand Aemon years later being like, you being bitter. Like, I can't. Everything's not good. You took my eye. My eye. But Aemon should have known better that. I guess like you think a dragon is a dog. Mm-hmm. You have the oldest dragon.
Yeah, you think you can chase down, because when they're flying, I remember the little dragon,
Luke's
dragon, like burned him to get away because he was running away.
He did.
And then the big old dragon wasn't taking it, just chomp.
Yeah, I heard a YouTuber made a good point. They were like, Vhagar is the oldest, largest dragon who probably had many riders. So he's more free-willed than the other dragons. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I had many riders. I had many owners. I can kind of do what So he's not, his loyalty isn't really cemented with too much of either of them. So I could see him being
I think he was like, why is this fly bugging me? I'm done. And just boom.
I think he just acted like a dragon.
He
They're
acted
wild
like a dragon.
animals. They're not
Exactly.
domestic. You can't say healed. But anyway, yeah, so what were we talking about? We're talking about
Season 2, episode 1.
Yeah.
We're talking about how when Rhaenyra decided that she wanted revenge.
Eye for an eye.
She wanted
A son
payback.
for a son.
An eye for
Yeah.
a son for a son.
But Daemon wanted to do that well before. He wanted to do that like immediately
He did.
soon. But everyone's like, we have to wait. We have to wait. But yeah, it's crazy. I know I'm still going back to season 1, but when I think about how pretty much men has like sunk their talents and schemes into Rhaenyra and Alicent. Even when I think about Alicent and Otto Hightower, her father, I remember in season 1, as soon as I think Viserys died, or no, not when he died, he came to Alicent when he was no longer the hand of the king, when he was getting kicked out of the kingdom. He said to her, listen, pretty much saying that Rhaenyra is going to be the queen and people are not going to accept her. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they're not going to accept her, because they're going to say that your children, Aegon and Aemon, are the heir to the throne. And Rhaenyra will know that the only way to solidify her heir claim to the throne is to kill your children.
Yep.
So he planted that in her head. And now I remember this one YouTuber who kind of like compared her to Cersei, where she's like, I have to protect my children at all costs.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, he was right.
It makes sense. Do you think Rhaenyra would do that to Alicent, though, before all the bad blood, before everything happened?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes. You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because she's a freaking Targaryen, Mary.
Targaryens get a bad rep.
They are insane. There's not one good
No.
Targaryen.
I want to see, I really want to see the Mad King. Like, if they make another spinoff, I want to see the rule and terror of the Mad King. But what's Targaryens that's bad? Name them.
Mary, what?
We have the Mad King.
You have, literally, the nigga's name was Mad King.
The Mad King. That we know. Who are the bad Targaryens?
You had, I can't remember these niggas' names, Mary, but basically, Daenerys' brother was evil and bad, right? The Mad King was bad.
Because we hear of great kings. We hear of
Daemon.
Maegor.
Daemon
They
is
said
terrible.
Maegor was crazy.
Yeah,
Maegor was a
Daemon-
mad king. Maegor was a mad king.
But Daemon is terrible and vengeance, right? Yeah, the Targaryens, I don't trust them.
I don't know. I don't trust.
If she was if she's doing right now, right? She's trying to find legitimacy to her throne, and even to do that, she married her uncle so that they had children. Their names would be Targaryen, right? And that they had basically double Targaryen blood to make sure she still has the throne. Power corrupts absolutely. Right,
When
absolute
did she
power corrupts
marry Damon?
absolutely.
She married
She married
Damon.
Damon after Damon's wife got burnt up, and after she faked her husband's death. She went and
The
married
gay man.
Damon, right, the gay man, and then um, she had 3 kids with Damon, and then 3 kids with her side nigga Harwin Strong, right. So basically, this woman, right, even though she didn't want to, eventually either her or someone on behalf of her would have wiped out the whole lineage because
I don't think
it would have
Rhaenyra would have
started a
did that to
war.
Allison. Before the bad blood started, I don't. I think now, absolutely. I don't think she would have did that to Allison. But yeah. What else happens in this episode? So
Well, we can fast forward. So
my thing is, why didn't the queen who never was? Why didn't she kill Alicent and Aegon?
at the end of
And
season 1,
yeah, but did she just want to threaten them?
no, she thought about it.
But why
She
didn't
thought
she?
about
Because Damon said if you would have did it when you had the chance, then
Luke would have been alive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why she didn't. I don't maybe because she's just caring. I don't know why she didn't. But
Well, she did. Season 2 wouldn't exist.
yeah,
But
I guess.
I think she didn't because
Because we needed a season 2. You answered it.
yeah, but I think she hesitated because she wanted
She thought it was enough.
no.
They're not afraid
she,
of dragons. The
They're
High
not.
Towers have been around dragons, and Aegon's a Targaryen. Like,
I think she wanted Rhaenyra to take it because if she went and killed the whole family, that's still not a power move, right?
On
From a
Rhaenyra's
strategic
end?
standpoint. On Rhaenyra's end, right? It's like, oh, the queen that never was fought your battles for you, or I don't know.
no, I get it. I get it. It's like if Rhaenyra's going to if Rhaenyra's going to do it, Rhaenyra needs to do it.
Yep, she needs to do it. She needs to do it.
Mm.
But speaking of doing it, Damon did it. Damon went and snuck off into King's Landing. He paid a rat catcher,
Cheese,
cheese, and someone else
blood.
to basically go.
So blood was blood. He was with not the city watch, right? And he
Yeah,
paid
he
them.
was like a.
For
yeah,
some
he was like a
reason, he
cop or
hates the
something.
High Towers. I don't know why. Because he says F
See,
the High Towers.
It's easy to hate rich people, especially back at that time. It's easy to hate people, rich people. Easy when you're poor. You know, when you serve them all the time, it's easy to hate them. So I'm not surprised.
But before that, before we jump to that, because that is the ending.
Yes, we're at
What do you think about? We talked about like Lars. What do you think about like Lars? And like we said, how Allison is like. Oh, speaking of Allison, guess who is now screwing with Kristen Cole? With her
Oh,
high and
yeah.
mighty self. Her
Little
high and
thought-
pious self. You there getting your back broken off.
getting her back broken off. Like she is.
I get it though. This woman
She's-
has never had an orgasm. Your man is
Huh.
dead. You have to choose duty over pleasure your whole life. Get it. With the incel Kristen Cole.
Yeah, she has never had anything for herself. I feel like
Yeah.
so that's the only thing she's had for herself.
Do you think that's why she
Was-
fights so hard for her children now? Because it's like, this is all I have. This is my duty.
Yeah, and I think she's a decent mother.
I don't
and
think-
I think she's a good mother.
Remember,
I just think that she lives in the male dominant society that all her male children could do whatever the f they want.
yeah,
And you can't do nothing about it.
yeah. Because I remember when Aegon in season 1, he assaulted one of his bed nurses or something.
Mhm.
And pretty much Allison was like, I hear you and I believe you, but keep your mouth shut because no one's going to believe
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
So
Right,
he
and
probably
that's how
has
it
a bunch
goes.
of bastards running around.
Yeah.
But
That's how it goes.
yeah, Laris. Remember when Laris pretty much told her, he was like, pretty much I found out all the snakes.
Oh yeah, and he like got rid of them. They
Killed
no
them.
longer breathe his air.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you know,
no, that nigga's dangerous.
he's
He's
scary,
dangerous.
and you can tell that she's realizing the bed that she made, because when
Hmm.
all her new staff was giving her a bath, she was like, I need y'all to get out. They're
She don't
all new
trust them
faces,
anymore.
and now I know people who used to bathe me are now dead.
Exactly.
But it makes sense though, because I just found out, because I remember in this episode when they talked about Mysaria, the white worm. I was like, I do not remember this woman at all.
I don't remember
You're
her
making a
either.
face. So that was the woman that Damon was like, she's a traitor of the crown, throw her in the jail cell. They found her on a ship.
Oh, she probably was a little minor character
She
who sold secrets or something. I can't
she was
remember.
like because remember she was like Damon's in season one. She was like Damon's main like side chick. He even
Mm.
lied to Viserys to piss him off to say that he got her pregnant, and they went to Dragonstone together and they had a dragon egg, and then Otto came back to get it. But long story short, my Sarah is pretty much the one who told Otto Hightower that she saw Damon and Rhaenyra getting a freak on in that whorehouse in season one.
Oh, okay.
So that,
That's why he didn't like him. Okay.
and also she's also the one when she found out that Viserys was sick. She's the one. Remember that Aegon was missing. She's the one who had Aegon kidnapped, and then she got him back for a ransom that was paid to her by Otto Hightower. And then when Lars found out about it, he tried to have her killed, but she fled. So they were finding her in season two on the ship. And then when Damon found out, like, yo, you're the reason why Aegon is on the throne now. She's like, I only did it for money, because pretty much she used Aegon as ransom. She was like, pretty much, listen, there's like terrible prostitution rings and like weird stuff going on with children that I need the crown to stop, and I will give Aegon back if you do that. So
Mm.
yeah,
I don't remember
she's
any
not
of
a
that.
bad person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know who she was. But yeah, and Lars is just treacherous. Like all the people. So yeah, so pretty much going back to it, pretty much the white worm, my Saria, she was pretty much she found out information from one of Alicent's handmaidens. So that's why Lars wiped out all of them. And that's why when she was getting bathed, she was like, just leave me alone. Because all the people who used to
Mm.
bathe me, Lars had killed on my like approval.
Request.
So now
Yeah.
she feels sick.
Yeah.
She feels sick.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Like she's sullying herself. Like,
Sullying.
yeah,
Okay.
her
Okay.
good character is slowly being sullied. Just kind of having people killed off and kind of protecting her sons when they do disgusting things, and no longer virtuous because now she's sleeping with whoever she wants. Like, wasn't Laris giving her head at one point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait, no, that wasn't Laris. That was the
that was Christian Cole.
that
Yeah,
was Christian Cole.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But whenever you are in a position of power and you have to cling for it, you do whatever you need to do, and that's why I still think if Rhaenyra had the
Rhaenyra.
throne, Rhaenyra had the throne, and she was hanging out, and these kids kept getting bigger and bigger, and eventually they wanted her throne. She would annihilate them because that's what people do in power. They do whatever they can to stay in power. That's human nature. So let's get towards the assassination attempt, right? Where you said cheese and blood. That was the goon's name hired by Damien
Damon. And
to
remember,
go.
remember before that council meeting that Aegon was going to, his sister wife, literally his sister wife, Helena was like, I'm afraid. And he was like, don't be
Mm,
afraid. We have dragons. Don't be afraid. We also have dragons. You don't need to fear the dragons that are coming from Rhaenyra's end. And she was like, I'm not afraid of the dragons. I'm afraid of the rats.
exactly.
And she looked off. And what I noticed after rewatching it, she looked off to two cribs side by side.
Mm.
And then, Aegon just brushed it off and said, the queen is an enduring mystery, is she not?
Mm-hmm.
And, we all think she crazy, but tell them what happened.
It was
So Damon
foreshadowing.
played, like, he recognized that. We see Cheese, too, throughout the show. He's like a rat catcher behind the scenes. And we
Mm-hmm.
can see how much of a free reign that he has over the palace, where they.
Yeah, because no one likes rats. No one wants to look at rats, and definitely, no one want to look at a man who's trying to catch them. So, they're always subtle and quiet, and they go up
And
and
we
they're
can see how
looking
much
to
access he has.
yes, and they're going and they're trying to find
Aemond.
Aemon,
The target
right?
is Aemond.
The target is Aemon, the one-eyed brother, and
What makes sense because he has Vagar.
it
He's a
well it
really
doesn't make
good
sense.
fighter. They think
It
about
it
because
doesn't make sense that they will be able to kill him, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he is the deadliest.
He's a good fighter.
He's a very fighter. Like the dude, the king called him the best sword
Yeah.
that he has. He's a deadly fighter. He's vicious, and he has the largest dragon, like that he probably can call at a whim. So I don't know how they thought he could assassinate him unless they caught him
It was
sleeping.
pretty stupid. I don't know why Damon didn't. Did Damon didn't think he could do the inside job himself without getting caught?
Damon,
Maybe
yeah,
maybe they wanted to. Maybe they wanted him to bring Aemon to Damon.
no, he said bringing them their head.
That's so
So
stupid.
that's
Yeah, that's really dumb. I don't.
yeah. I saw that. I'm like, there's no way they can.
And they
can
said that
catch this
too.
dude.
They were like, "We don't. If he's such a good fighter and he has the biggest dragon, what makes you think?"
We can do it.
I guess
But
they thought in
went
the middle of the night they'll get him while he was sleeping.
exactly. That's why I think they tried to get him when he's sleeping. But instead, they walk into the room and they find the queen at
Well,
this
first
point.
they find Blood walks into a room, and then he sees that one of I guess Allison's or someone's handmaiden is still there, and she's suspicious. But he's like, I'm just setting traps because they know they're not supposed to be in that area of the palace.
Yeah.
And at first, he's scared about it. He's like, we're not supposed to go that far up. And Blood's like, I'll kill you. Come on, stop being scared. And then Cheese gets mad and kicks the dog. And that's why I was like, oh no, I hate Cheese. Remember he kicked that dog for no reason because he was mad?
I think he kicked the dog just to send him away.
No, he was
But yeah.
pissed. He kicked the dog out of anger. I
Yeah.
was like, why you kick the dog? So, yeah, they're in an area they're not supposed to be. Blood sees a maid, and, he tells her he's setting trap, and he lets her go, but he's like, man, I know she's suspicious. So he, like, walks down, he hears, like, something, and he's thinking that Cheese might have caught the maid down the hall, but he had Helena there.
Hmm. The queen by the neck, right, with a knife, and they're like, tell us who the boy is between her twins because they
There are
couldn't
two
tell.
kids sleeping, yeah. Dude, they're
And
so cute. They're adorable.
they were adorable little incest monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like,
Right,
tell
they're
her
so inbred. How are they still, like,
cute.
functioning?
Tell us who the male is. Tell us who the heir is, right? Or she said we'll kill all three of them, right? Was that the threat?
Yeah, even though I didn't see the third one. Did you see a third
Well,
one?
her
Oh.
and her two kids,
Okay.
right? So then she pointed, and she pointed to the heir. She pointed to him, to the actual boy. Why do you think she did that versus pointing to the girl? Why do you think she told the truth?
See, I don't know, because my thing is, I don't understand why they didn't just check the genitals themselves. Like, I don't know why Cheese and Blood didn't just check to make sure that
Because
they
they're
not want to
murderers,
the
not
kids.
pedophiles, Mary.
They can cut off a kid's head, but they can't check their pants to see what gender they are. But I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this is another plot device that's driven a huge plot device that's driven off of a simple miscommunication. It's like, oh, you thought you killed the boy, but you really killed the girl because no one really knows because they look just alike. And I'm just like, I don't know why no one checked the genitals. So I don't know why that seems like bad writing to me, but I don't know why. What do you think it is?
No, I thought the same thing because it was like check them, and then she's like, tell us who it is,
And they just didn't.
and they just did it.
I'm like,
And
did you
the
not
thing
want to
that-
wake them up? Like, why didn't you just?
I don't know because she went and she grabbed her son, then she ran.
Who we think is
the
the son? We
queen
don't know.
ran.
We don't. It's
Her
like
son,
it's like
her daughter. She grabbed the
It's like
second
the
kid.
Aegon and Aegon again, and like
Exactly.
the two brothers, Eric and Arik. Cargill. They're like knights or whatever. One is with
Mm,
Rhaenyra and one is with Alicent.
mm,
And I'm like,
yeah.
they have similar names too, so I can see. I feel like this show is all about, oh, it's minor miscommunications and mix up that leads to huge plot points. So that's why
Yes.
I feel like, because remember she was like, yeah, yeah. I'm just like, they just trying to confuse us, like
No, it is confusing, and you
for
know
no reason.
the saddest thing is how they hacked away at this
Yeah,
kid's neck,
that was
yo.
gross.
Like just like you couldn't get
I
a
cringed.
sword, you know, just hacked away at the little kids.
I'm like, did you kill him
Just
first? Did you do it
disgusting.
when he was still alive?
I think they slit his throat, then hacked him.
My
But
thing
still,
is,
slitting someone's throat, you drown in your own blood, and you sit there and you panic. There's nothing. It was terrible.
my thing is like, you could have smothered him and brought you really. I understand if it was Aemon's head, but you really think Damon's like, maybe Damon is brutal. Damon is brutal. We saw what he did to all the criminals and thieves in season 1 when he was part of the City Watch and he was cutting off heads and stuff. But I'm like, you think that he wanted Aemon's head for obvious reasons, but you think he wants this little boy's head too? If you'd have killed him, yeah, but do you think you wanted, like, he's gonna probably be like, what the hell when you come in a little six year old boy's head? Like, yes, it's a son for a son, but Jesus. I even think
Yeah,
Damon
that
will be
was.
like 7 hells to this brutality.
Yeah, that's his family too, right? This kid was mm,
That's his niece, his
Damon's
nephew, right?
his great nephew.
His great nephew. Okay, because yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true because his father, Aegon II, is Rhaenyra's half brother, making him his nephew, making Daemon. Yeah, that is his great nephew. Yeah, but Helena was right. She was like, "I'm afraid of the rats," and you should be.
Yeah, because, and I think the rats is more than just the animals.
Well,
The
yeah,
rats are
obviously, duh.
all
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying. Like, there are rats
sleazy
beneath the
sketchies.
floorboards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those sleazy people.
You know, there are rats in the kingdom, literally working in the kingdom, giving out information. The people who work here cannot be trusted. They have access to our halls, they have access to information. That was Cheese. He
Hmm.
was a rat and a rat catcher, so
Exactly.
yeah.
No, it was once again
That was hard.
a
I was like,
very
oh my God,
a
sound.
very
That sound was
gory
terrible.
a very gory, shocking ending.
Yeah.
Right, and she walked to the room, and the girl, the Allison was getting her back blown out
She
again
was by Christian.
by
Yeah.
Christian, um, and yeah, Christian Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that concludes this episode, and I am very excited for the next one.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be an amazing season.
It's like, even there's just bad blood building and building and building. Like, you can't mess with people's children. There's
Yeah,
already enough bad blood. Like, you took a kid's eye, a kid got eaten by a dragon. Now another kid is beheaded in his bedroom. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, it's there's no turning back. There's no turning back. There's nothing worse you can do to make the High Towers and, well, to make Allison and Rhaenyra hate each other more.
yeah. No, it's
Allison
gonna
better
get.
learn how to fight.
She need to go get herself a dragon.
She do need a
She need
dragon.
to. These people need dragons. Dragons is like the nuclear weapons of
Yeah,
their
but she thinks
time.
she's better than the Targaryen. You know, she serves the seven, and she is better because she's not incestuous. But you know, she knows the morals. Like, she knows that that incest is gross, and she, for the most part, stayed pretty virtuous and didn't cheat on her husband. So I can't. I can see her thinking. I remember when season 1, Rhaenyra always wanted her to ride dragons with her, and she was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And it's like, "Girl, you should have.
Yeah,
You should have. You could have bonded with one of them. Then you have a dragon on your side too."
yeah, dragon on your side too.
But
Yep, dragons is power.
yeah,
But
I'm so excited for next week.
yes. So that's a wrap for this episode of the Watch That John podcast.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed our take on this season's episode, season 2 of the House of Dragons,
Yeah,
episode 1. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and leave us a review. You can follow us on all the social media for updates and behind the scenes content. Until next time, keep your eyes on the screen and stay tuned for more Watch That Johns.
Bye.
Bye bye.